What's up guys, it's Catching Up Productions 72 here with another review, first one in almost 3 weeks, and we're back with another retro review on set 9499, the Gungan sub originally released in the 1st of June 2012 as part of that legendary summer 2012 wave and retired at the end of 2013 on December 31st. This set has 465 parts and originally retailed for $54.99 in the United Kingdom. You won't be getting that for this anymore. This set is one of those ones that's, went up in value quite a bit, and it's, for most people, know why. If you don't know why, it's because of that really rare Queen Amidala minifigure right here. This minifigure is where most of the set's value comes from. Personally, for me, I did get this one used without box for around £168, which might seem like a lot for what it is, but that minifigure I have recently seen hit 200 in value. So that minifigure's like a modern day Cloud Set Boba Fett. If you look at what Cloud Set Boba Fett was worth 10 years ago, he was like in the 250 to 300 range, so I wouldn't be surprised if that minifigure continued to go up. But anyway, let's have a look at those minifigures, starting off with Jar Jar Binks. So here we have our first minifigure, Jar Jar Binks. He was not new or exclusive to the set like the other two minifigures are. He was originally released in the year before, in 2011, in the Battle of Naboo set. Really cool minifigure. He has a harpoon as a weapon. Just show you guys that. Harpoon. Pretty basic weapon. And Jar Jar Binks. I mean, this minifigure was like, he was pretty cool at the time, and he still really is. Just take the head off for you guys, just so you can see just the piece a little bit better. A really cool piece. There's the back of the torso. Let's also have some printing. So yeah, next minifigure. So our next minifigure is Qui-Gon Jinn. So this Qui-Gon Jinn is very, very similar to the one originally released the year before, like Jar Jar Binks, in the 2011 Sith Infiltrator set, but he has one key difference. So he has the same leg, torso, lightsaber, hairpiece, but his face is where it gets different. So if we remove Qui-Gon's hair, let's go and zoom in here. He just has his standard face, but if we twist his head around, he has the breathing apparatus that he has in that scene, which is it's quite cool. There is no torso printing under the back of the cape. Well, actually, no, there is. Forgot that was a thing in 2012. But I was surprised there. Really cool minifigure overall. Just try to fix that cape there. And it's nice to get a Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn is not a character we get often in LEGO Star Wars. In fact, even back then, it's like kind of rare to see him, like, 2 years in a row. So really cool minifigure, really do love this one. And our next minifigure is Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi. Another minifigure we don't get all too often in LEGO Star Wars. We don't really get a lot of episode 1 stuff, especially in the last 5 years. That has not really, there's been almost none. But this minifigure is exclusive to this set, including his face print. I do believe the torso always showed up in other Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi minifigures, because I do know it was in the 2014 MTT he used that same torso. It's got the cape like Qui-Gon, and you got torso printing underneath the cape, which is quite cool, which is handy because a certain feature in this set does require you to remove the capes. He's got his Padawan braid on his torso there, but also like Qui-Gon, if we remove his hair, twist his face around, we get another one of those breathing apparatus faces, which again is pretty cool. So pop your hair back on there. Looks really nice. It's a really cool minifigure. I do like the Jedi robes on minifigures, like always does them to perfection. So yeah, really happy with that. Let's get into the minifigure that all the fuss is about. And here's the minifigure that all the fuss is about. This is the minifigure this set probably best known for. I argue that if this minifigure was not put in here, this set would not have been as well known. Well, not as well known, but it wouldn't be worth as much. It's one of those sets that, here we are 10 years after release, it'd probably be worth what? I don't know, extra £20–30 more than it originally retailed, but I don't I think without this figure it wouldn't have went as crazy. This is a really, really nice minifigure. It has a really cool and unique pieces, which we're going to take off to show you guys. What this hairpiece, now if you guys remember in Star Wars, and you see especially in the Clone Wars, Padme is kind of known for having outrageous headpieces that show hers. This definitely counted as one of those headpieces. It's a really cool, unique mold that Lego came up with. And you know, you look at this and you would think this is like something from this year, you know, 2022, but no, this came out in 2012, which I'll be honest, scares the hell out of me. That was 10 years ago, but I mean, look at that printing. So look, and there's no double-sided face. Padme and Jar Jar, the only characters out of it, but she does have a nice piece on the back of her torso for printing. Just thought I'd show that off. We're going to put her hairpiece back on, but you know, it's pretty cool. That's it from the front. Turn it around, that's it from the back. Here's something from, look at the torso printing on this minifigure. It is outrageously good. It's really cool, especially that bottom piece, which I'm going to try to show you guys. Oh. There's like the other unique piece is this bottom piece, you know, so I don't think they would do this today. I make the argument that this would not exist in 2022. I don't know why, I just don't feel as if they would go that effort, but you know, really cool minifigure. It's one of those really cool one-offs that personally didn't fit in this set for me. Like, I originally did have this when it came out. I already seen the Star Wars movies. I didn't understand why Padme was in the set. Personally, I've always thought it would make more sense to include Boss and Ass. But you know what? This is one of those minifigures that there's nowhere to put this minifigure in the sub. But it's one of those minifigures that makes this set even cooler because it exists. Let's get into that Gungan sub. And I'm just going to point out, the other minifigures in this set for a Gungan sub is the Jar Jar you can buy for like £5. I've seen the Qui-Gon go as far as 25 and the Obi-Wan go as far as like 17. So, you know, there's a few less than cheap, you know, they're not all cheap in this set, but this Padme, I just have to say, is 100% worth that money, at least to me. I obviously got her as part of the set. I never intended to buy her separately for that crazy money, but for all those minifigures I'm happy I have in my collection and can say that I own, so yeah, now we will definitely go into that sub. So here's the set, and like the X-Wing, we have to do it at this angle because, well, this set has a part to it that would not work on camera normally, and it's one of those sets that at first I didn't think I could review, but you know, I'm beginning to find ways around it. So this set is actually quite decently sized, you know, for a set that was £55, you know. I'm quite happy with the size of it. This would definitely be in the £100 range today, which definitely shows you how different things are now versus in 2012, which is, again, kind of crazy. The one thing I will point out about my particular copy is because it was used and I will be replacing these pieces here are kind of scratched up a bit, but let's get into it. So first you've got this really cool arrow on the front. Obviously it's intended just to stay like this, but it can swing around what's on these lights. It kind of makes like a teeth. Got these really cool pieces that kind of go up the sides. There's a really cool building technique for that. This has a lot of really good techniques. Some nice lights coming along here. And something that's on both sides says you can lift up this crate here. Right, it's also on the other side, you know, I'll show you. Let me show you what's inside that crate. Right, and inside that crate you will find this. It's like one of the little power cell things. It's also like the little projectiles that the Gungans throw. So it's kind of cool. You get one in each one of these little crates, just fits in like so, and you put this piece back on like that. So you get 3 domes in the set. So this first one here, if I can get open that is, there we go, is for your minifigures, you know, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan and Jar Jar. This back one here you can technically use for lightsabers and capes, that's what you're encouraged to do with it. This one here actually holds something inside of it. It's like this kind of water kind of mine that you can detonate and stuff. They don't really show too much intended use for it, but you know, it's quite a simple build, nothing special, but still quite cool to throw in the set, you know, to point out. And It can stay up in there, but also like to rattle around. Just gonna point that out. So let's get those minifigures inside the set. So you're gonna want to remove things like Jar Jar's harpoon gun. Jar Jar is the only minifigure who can sit inside this set without any issues. Got a better view. It's got some really cool stickers, by the way. Inside it, going along here, kind of acting as control panels. That right there, it's on both sides of the set, so you can see where you have room to put minifigures. Let's get them in. So like I said, Jar Jar Binks can fit in this set without any problems whatsoever. Just try to do this looking for the camera, it's a little bit difficult. In fact, we're going to save Jar Jar for another feature in this set, so let's get those two Jedis in there. So with his lightsaber and cape removed, let's fit Obi-Wan Kenobi into the Gungan sub. So, you know, he just goes in here like so on these studs, fits in well enough. Here he is, Qui-Gon Jinn without his cape and lightsaber. One cool thing to know about my copy in particular is you can tell that the minifigures were never used because the legs on this Qui-Gon are stiff. Which I do like, the capes are not frayed, so you know. Buying used sets, it isn't always that bad, but you get Qui-Gon in there. Now, I will show Jar Jar in the back, but we won't take him straight back out again. It's a little annoying to try and fit Jar Jar in, but there you go, we can fit in. You know, I'm just gonna, see? Works a treat. Yeah, it works with the two minifigures. The original Gungan sub could not have all the characters on cockpit, so that's why this one is so good. Let me show you another really cool feature. So here we have this little bit there, so I can't really show you inside too well, but there's a little clip in there, so you know, let's take Qui-Gon's lightsaber, right? We can clip that inside there. As you can see, the lightsaber fits in pretty much perfectly. I'm really happy with that. You can also, this is maybe not the best idea for the capes. I mean, it does work though. Personally, I don't keep minifigures in my set, so I don't do this, but you can put the capes in there. And you know, you can also put Obi-Wan's lightsaber in there too, along with the harpoon gun, and you know, close it up really nice, and it works out quite well. But let me show you like one of my favourite features on this entire set. Before I do that, I should probably show you the back end of the set as well. As well as this set is one of those sets, I forget how many cool features it's got, but here it is from the back. You know, it can rotate and junk, which is quite cool. I'm really happy with this. My little brother called this set Giant Mr. Rain, but this is quite a cool set, you know. You can see why I have to film it at this angle. I think that's starting to make sense now. So, and at the front, by the way, there are some flick fire missiles. You can see them here, and you know, that actually went quite far. I'm going to do that again. They are on both sides. It is 2012, so of course there was flick fire missiles. Yeah, works a treat. Oh, I do kind of miss flick fire missiles. So what we're going to do is, right, we can open up this hatch, which this is a stickered piece. There's quite a few stickers in this set, so well, actually you have to remove it to open the hatch. This is basically an escape pod. So like I said earlier in the review, you cannot fit Padme anywhere in this set. She's not compatible with any part of the set, but you can fit in this set if you choose to. You can fit one of your Jedi, or I'm going to do it. I'm going to fit in Jar Jar Binks. Fits up nicely in there, you know. It works out quite well as an escape pod. It does look really weird without it though. It's like, you can't see the connection point there. You've just got those little pieces on the bottom to stop it from scratching shelves, and it kind of gives it that hover effect on the shelf as well, which is also pretty cool. That's me show pretty much every single, you can cut this back in with Jar Jar by the way. So I pretty much just showed you every feature of the Gungan sub. let's move on to those instructions because there's some cool stuff in those. So this set does have 2 sets of instruction manuals. The first book 1, and by the way, this is exactly what your box would look like. Obviously, you have the thing coming down the side here with your minifigures. But let's see, it's got the one thing on the back, which, do you know what I miss? That's about instructions. In fact, the Legos went for that all kind of rendered design with a white background. Is I think we're going to miss instructions like this, because I do like the art on these. So this instruction booklet basically takes you up the completing, more or less completing one side. But instruction booklet 2 is something I really like, so we're going to go into it. So here we are at the back of the instructions where all the cool stuff. So obviously it's got the part guide, it shows you how to build this set, but for me who likes nostalgic things, and I was collecting Lego back in 2012, so this is technically nostalgic for me, is what we've got here. Let's get just this. So here we have a whole bunch of other sets you could buy at time. The Desert Skiff, says he tends to be a Starfighter, the Republic class Striker, the Republic class Striker Starfighter, I think that one's called. I always get one's name mixed up. We've got the Gungan sub almost with this set, you can kind of see his box. The Fury class Interceptor, the Malevolence in Jabba's Palace. This does not show you all the 2012 sets, but the ones I have reviewed are the X-Wing, the Escape Pop Droid Escape, one of the planet sets. It was Naboo, and I have done Jabba's Palace. And obviously now I'm doing the Gungan sub. Here's a really cool piece of nostalgia though. A whole bunch of the minifigures, like there's some really cool ones here. I do own the majority of these. There's not many here that I don't actually own, which is kind of crazy for me. And one thing, because it was 2012 of course, it has a comic, which is quite cool. You see them getting chased, coming out, and you see them, with Padme and Jar Jar kind of falling over a bit. Really cool stuff. They got the whole Lego Star Wars comic builder thing, that was a thing back in the day. Really cool. So here's my final thoughts and conclusion on the 9499 Gungan sub. 10 years later, is it worth buying? It just depends on what you want to pay. This is one that won't go down in value ever. You can get it really cheap, by the way, if you don't want the minifigures. And even if you want some of the minifigures, if you don't want that Padme, it's a really cheap set. This minifigure is actually one of the reasons I bought it. I was going to buy this set eventually out of nostalgia, but you know, because kid me had it, but I don't really like the set for this minifigure and how cool and rare it is. It doesn't feel like something that would do anymore. Like, this is a really cool collector's piece that I'm really happy to have in my collection. It's just one of those minifigures, and I feel if they'd done it today, they wouldn't do it this way. They wouldn't do that really cool bottom piece that they've done, you know, that all looks like lights. They would make it cheaper. That piece they used on the new layers, it's like the side of a building piece with a print trickling down the side, that's what they would use. Anyway, I recommend this at 100% if you're willing to pay the price for it. Episode 1 does not get a lot of sets, so they probably won't redo it anytime soon, but yeah. So, next week I actually have a different type of video planned. I'm not going to say anything right here, but next Tuesday you've definitely got a different, bit of a unique type video coming, so see you guys then. Thanks for watching.